Okay, and we are live. It's LSDJ Telemelt Live, and this week we have Skip Sandwich DX. Welcome.
Hi. Well, we're back from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It's nice that you're able to come back, and we can kind of continue. I just pulled up what we had been working on last time. It's been long enough for me to like have forgotten. So we can either keep doing this or we could do something else, or...
Yeah, we could always move the page down. It's fine. Keep the instrumentation. You know, I think CC Ivory was the last one that like did any work. I think it was like one of the bottom rows.
Yeah, and this chain, I guess, is like repeated or something. I'm like, there's some like wonky stuff going on here, but we can at least just play it to get a reminder of what we had going on here.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have my VP on. Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I had my VPN on and forgot to turn it off.
Whoa. What? That's some goofy bass stuff going on there. I don't remember what was supposed to go on here. And then I think CC Ivory was maybe doing something here.
Gonna have to bring up the stream again because bring up the Telemelt back because it didn't like when I turned off my VPN.
Oh, oops.
That's my fault. All right, let's try that again. I definitely heard up until like A. It reminded me of the I forget how to pronounce our French friend's name.
Poil.
Like, yeah, his approach was very. I think I mentioned that last time. Was very Lavender Town, like Nightmare Lavender Town on acid.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what the deal was going on here. It's like, okay, so anyway. It's possible that something got replaced and not cloned.
Yeah, there was a bunch of modulation and transposing going on
in the previous, yeah. So,
and I think we got to chatting around then.
I think this maybe just didn't get finished with the writing. Like this was supposed to be something else. I don't know, but so then we have this. Which is cool. Then we have this, which is like a mix.
I think that's what got modulated.
Yeah, that seems right. Oh boy. Okay. Well, no time like the present to go like fix that. Okay. So this looks like it's unique. Like I was going through and checking. Maybe 3D, 24, 25. Are we still on Deep Clone? Yeah. So I don't think any of these really have... I think we're free to mess around. Like... But clearly it was supposed to be something like what was going on here.
Yeah.
This looks like something I did. Also, is this... Why would I need this here? I wouldn't.
I remember you were talking about shifting the volume.
Yeah.
I remember you were. I think that was you.
Probably.
From what I remember for the E commands. Yeah, I was trying to lean into the with like the drum and bass. I was trying to lean into like the dark and mysterious sound, but then like what CC Ivory did, I was like, oh man, obviously that's like more my style.
Yeah.
But I think it was like the end of the night by the time he was like jotting that down.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if, well, who knows if this is like one song or two songs, but that's like the fun part of this is like,
It's whatever.
things can always be like pieced together and stuff like
Sure.
that. So I honestly don't know if this is even supposed to be here. There's all these twos.
Yeah.
Oops. But like,
it was a very loose evening.
Yeah. And this will
wasn't a
be
lot of
too.
rules.
I'm not sure. We'll see if anyone happens to make it around. It's probably supposed to be something like that. And then probably, I'm not sure what. Like this, if anything, these should all be 25 probably, because and then this should be like, well, actually, well, we could shift all of these down by 2. Nope. It's kind of like trying to take it in a minor type of direction, which isn't all bad.
It's got like some fever dreamy stuff going on.
Yeah. I cannot make that work.
Yeah, when it comes to like, you know, shifting it, like something melodically, you know, if you can't do it.
This is the right note, but I think I'm just gonna skip the bass octave jumping. Oh, now see, here's where I want to do this. E3.
Yeah, open it up a little bit and make it a little less complicated for sure. Maybe take out some of the I mean, I know that you like that bass, but so I don't know when we're supposed to be like chatting and not supposed to be chatting about programming, but I was able to catch up on one of your old Wave Channel tutorial videos.
Oh yeah, I can't remember how well I just tried to cover everything in it, but I sort of didn't. And yeah, I mean, as far as this goes, like, the whole idea is this is just supposed to be pure chaos. So I mean, like, if you have an idea and you want to do it, like, just take the controller and then do it. Like,
oh, for sure.
And then yeah, otherwise I'm just gonna keep, because I'm like, oh, I guess I can do whatever I want. I didn't know if anybody was gonna be joining on the stream, so I'm happy you're here.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great activity for a chill Sunday night.
And then, oh yeah, this should be pretty close to. Wait.
I only transpose like bass chains sometimes, especially if like you have like more than one note, you know.
Oh yeah, like it's nice when I'm using like just octaves, because then it gives me the freedom to be able to do that. And then if I feel like I hear something, like if I heard something here, I would clone this one and do whatever it was that I heard. So this can all just be kind of placeholder.
What I like about it I like the duty cycle of the chords that play with like how like harsh the bass is.
Yeah.
I think without that, it wouldn't be balanced at all.
Yeah.
I would like to, like, if like just curious if we took that down to the lower duty cycle, it would probably sound real like thin and I guess like. I mean, would it be fair to say that like the wider duty cycle allows for like some? I mean, the pulse width gives you like some, I don't know, for lack of a better phrase, like softness.
Yeah, I think it definitely it affects the spectrum of the waveforms. So yeah. Oh, hey, Jelly Bear. Yo, what up? Hey, Lexi, also welcome. Yeah, I'm okay. The chat is working. That's good. I was not paying attention to the chat because I'm paying attention to the LSDJ stuff. Oh, cool. Okay, that's good because I didn't really take any time to set the stream up ahead of time. Which is kind of the way, well, that's kind of the idea is like we can just load it up and go. Yeah, it's so anyway, the duty cycle, like, it would be cool to get like a spectrum analyzer. Oh, I had this idea before. I could probably figure out a way to make it work, but I would really like to have like as part of the visuals, like the spectrum, like a spectrogram, like scrolling in the background. But then you'd really be able to see the actual difference in the kind of like harmonics or overtones that are produced by each duty cycle. Because like the square wave, I think it's like all odd harmonics. A perfectly square wave is like all odd harmonics. So that's like why when you're in the wave channel, and of course we're gonna have to find one of these that's not like this guy. If you set your cutoff to an odd overtone, an odd numbered overtone, it will be at 0 basically, like because there's only, or even numbered rather, because there's only odd overtones. So like you can get funny stuff happening when you're trying to like boost a harmonic that's not actually there. And I don't know how much you're like aware of all of that stuff. A sawtooth wave has all the harmonics.
Right. It, just because it I mean, I guess like gently like transitions, from like visually from top to bottom from like the frequencies itself. Which is the harsh like drop down and up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And a sine wave has no harmonics except it just has that one fundamental frequency. Of course, in the wave channel, because it's not like a perfectly aliased sine, it's aliased, so that adds all of these overtones from the like tiny square waves that come about because the waveform is pixelated. So like these are like each one of these forms like a little tiny square wave between each one of these pixels.
I feel like if we spend like any like amount of time in the wave channel, this could become me asking you 1,000 questions about like the wave channel.
Right. Yeah, which is fine.
Like I'll start talking like the differences between like wavetable and subtractive like synthesis.
Yeah.
Because aside from experimenting and hearing like the audible outcome.
Yes.
To learn about like synthesis itself, and then hearing it are two completely different things, from my experience.
Right.
But that kind of just makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's funny because I feel maybe I mentioned this last time. I don't remember, but Lexi says, "Do it. It's a good learning moment." Seven Castle Forest says, "Hello, Def Mike. Hope you're doing well. Thanks. I'm listening in on mobile while grocery shopping, but good luck and have fun." Thanks a lot. It's funny because this is designed to like emulate a subtractive synth, and so you could like get faked out by thinking that, oh wow, we have a filter in here. You've got cutoff and Q. It's like no, and the signal. Well, the signal is kind of real. But the filter is all emulated, and so like what it's doing when you change the signal is actually just there's lookup tables in here, and it's basically like it's kind of like stacking sine waves. I mean, that's what synthesis is anyway, is like all stacking sine waves, because everything's made of sine waves. So, but like, yeah, it's pretty kind of simple math that adds up to get these like waveforms, but it's kind of like fake. So when you change the cutoffs, there are lookup tables with, you know, and it's adding in a sine wave at a certain frequency, and then it's adding in that, you know, amount. So like each one of these that you do will add up this number. It's like the number of iterations, really. 5, 6.
How did you copy
7.
and paste each side and then like flip them? I saw you do that for a second.
So it's the same as anything else in LSDJ. So if you it's select
Highlight.
plus B, that brings you to select. Then you have the cursor where you can move the cursor around, and then before you press anything else, when you press and hold A, then you can either press up. So you can see my A button is pressed, up, down, up or down, either one will flip it up and down, and then left or right will flip it left or right. And then also, I think there's a way that you can, oh boy, am I thinking of this right? Well, you can copy and paste, obviously, so you can, like, I can copy this and like paste it here.
Right.
I thought there was a way that maybe we could like move.
You were like there you go. You're like mirroring it.
Yeah, so you can, so wherever your selection is, you can flip around between, you know, invert that and then whatever. So
wait, can you like listen to I usually don't do this very much. Like I don't like, usually hand draw my waveforms like a ton. But
yeah, let's see if we can just put in a new phrase here.
I would like to see how like interesting, like, you know, like coming up with a bass synth can be.
Oh yeah.
While you're like, you just have a drum running and that kick drum running.
I wish I was a waveform. Me too. Yeah. So what I was actually gonna say, that's a good jumping off point for what I was gonna mention. You know, you might get intrigued by this whole process of like, you know, oh, I think we can we just use up and down? Oh yeah, up, just pressing up and down with no other things will let you move, like rotate these guys up and down. So that's kind of fun, which is just your V shift essentially. So yeah, anyways. Oh, cool, I can edit my own waveforms, and I will play this in a second. But the funny thing to me is that like so many of these sound basically identical. They all have this just like, it sounds like noise. It sounds like noise. It sounds like a noisy bass.
There's not enough of a pattern.
It sounds like noise. And then like, especially the noisier you get as these get more and more kind of random and whatever, it just, there's a million waveforms, and I'm not exaggerating, that sound exactly just like this kind of rough, you know, the more difference that you have and the less kind of smoothness in the waveform, the harsher like the signal and the more overtones you get, you know, so you kind of get these little like different buzzing type variations. I should like,
which is there a high pass or a low pass on? I'm curious what filter is on.
Nothing. No filter. Okay. Well, let's just retrig every line, so that way we can hear what we're. Yeah, nothing is being filtered. It's just this. Yeah. And if we move these closer together, you know, it gets quieter, so. This is kind of dreadful, sorry, but.
We're used to that.
Yeah.
It's part of the experience.
You've heard my music. Yeah. So, hey, Hardstyle Fox, what's up? We're just talking about wave channel stuff. Music to my ears. Well, yeah. So, point being, you can get really into this whole. Oh yeah, we didn't do this yet. This is your rap sound, right?
mean,
Okay.
it sounds cool to me.
It sounds cool because we have it on a retrig, right? Which it is cool. I mean, yeah, of course it's cool. But like,
where does it land with the tick math for R06?
Retrig every step, so it's just 16th notes.
Okay.
It's like playing, this. I don't know how often I think it doesn't change what's in the wave RAM until you restart the instrument. And is that crazy? Yeah, because I think so. I think that's right. Because that's why we can't hear it. That's why we only hear it change every 6 ticks. It doesn't happen instantaneously. That's interesting. I hadn't really considered that before. But anyway, I haven't even reached the second half of my thought yet, which is that basically there are trillions of waveforms. Like, this is a waveform. This is a waveform. This is a waveform. But the thing is, like, a lot of this musically to our ears, sounds the same as this. It sounds the same as this, which sounds the same as this. And I mean, here, I'll prove it. Right? No difference at all. So like, you might think like, wow, there's trillions of waveforms, but so many of them, and the same thing is true like this. If you invert it, same exact thing. So like, there's just a lot of redundancy in this, and it's really hard to find something interesting. And I think, for my money, like, there is no better way of traversing through the space of all possible channel waveforms than using this synth. And I've tried like a bunch of different stuff. Some people have talked about like FM type, sounds. And you can kind of do some of that, and I can show it a little bit. But like this, it's just the most efficient way to get something interesting and usable, but is by using the synth. So like, for the most part, I really never touch this. Maybe if I'm doing like that transient kick. But yeah, so, okay. Are you talking about the retrig command? Does that change if the groove is 2, or is it still 6? It's still 6 because we have it on R06. So first digit of volume, and then the second digit is the speed. So if I wanted to retrig every 2 ticks, we could do it that way, and then we'd really hear what I was doing. Now you're hearing it like more almost in real time. Yeah, we could. But that's why that rap sound is so cool. And it's used all over in every LSDJ release before, whatever.
If it's like the early 90s and you're like a programmer, like for a Game Boy game to make musician, like being able to do this, it's so granular, it seems like what they were doing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like to make music on a Game Boy, for Game Boy games, I mean.
Sounds like an old arcade racing sound effects. Yeah, exactly, because this is essentially noise. Like, it's just random. There's no pattern at all, and like, so
there's consistency though.
You're getting this pitched noise effect, which is like in all of the old chips. I mean, even Game Boy has pitched noise. So, but like the minute that you start adding in like some semblance of kind of like actual, vibration in terms of like a sound wave, then like we could probably turn this into something that's a little more, I don't know, resonant, and instead of just like grating noise. So this is going to be a weird.
I guess I would define that as character.
Yeah.
Okay,
and we can probably get rid of this. So like, oh, that's a little bassier actually.
Give it a little loop. A nice faint like wah growl. Oh, wait. What happened?
I'm moving it up by 1.
It completely shifted in esse tonality just from one tiny step.
Because we've got this big jump here. So that's kind of fun, like to figure out like what aspects of the waveform actually like map to the sound that you're hearing.
I mean, that's the interesting part of that, about it. Like, you can have something, they look identical just being one step, or I guess, what do you call that for them going vertical?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
But like that looks exactly like the previous, but it sounds completely different.
Yeah.
It's complete fake out. Like if you're judging this waveform by looking at it,
and
you'll never know what it sounds like.
I think that's why there's such a big difference when you have the V shift. Like that's why there's not really an H shift, which would be more like this phase. But it kind of squishes it, so you get more effect that way, because just moving this back and forth doesn't change anything. But when you are actually moving it up and down, it introduces these jumps, like the jump from here to here back to here. That's like it's like more noise because it's a big jump. It's not like it's not smooth. So like the smoother the waveform is, like the smoother the sound, basically. Way back in the day before the new change, Saberpulse said that everyone should make their wave sounds in the editor and not the synth screen. I did a mix of both, but the new update is real nice. Yeah, it's I feel like you can get your head around kind of how, the wave channel works by doing some by hand, but that's like when people say that they should do their own FM, like 4-op instruments by hand. It's like, no freaking way. Like, use presets. They're so much easier. Like,
I mean, that's like saying you can't make mashed potatoes from scratch unless you like till the earth.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, no, the synth is here to help you. It's here to help you make really cool sounds. And like, of course, there might be times when you really either have to or want to go like. Yeah, the new update, I think you must be referring to this, where we can actually add our own signals in as the input, which is great. So, you can't filter, but you can do some of the phase stuff, and you could rap using your own waveform. So that, I think, does lend itself to like, more creative experimentation in the wave channel. Cause like, okay, finally we've got a mix of both. Like I've got a handmade wave editor, but I can also use these nice like resync, or I can wrap, or fold and add some like motion and interest to the sound. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of randomly moving some stuff around.
I feel like I haven't seen all of your wave channel like YouTube content, but it has seemed that most of it, if all of it that I've seen, is just seemed that it was too short. Like you obviously have too much to say about it. I think the one title, it was like you called it like a ramble.
Yeah, there's a ramble, and then there's like some learning labs that I did where I was kind of trying to show the spectrum, to relate all of this to like overtones and stuff.
But to be fair, how could you really dig deep into the wave channel without rambling?
I don't know if somebody has any ideas. Like, well, I don't know. I guess as opposed to sort of like really tightly scripting something that was like really, sort of like well prepared, which mine was not. Oh yeah, you can also like invert single values by holding A and then up and down, and that will just invert it to what the current value is. Oh, and I guess you can also hold A and then left and right, and it'll basically paste it in. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. So if you wanted to just zero out.
Huh.
Nice. Okay. See, even I can learn stuff.
That's like really cool.
See, now this is like too smooth.
Well, you're also not using, a lot of the tools at your disposal.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of like loop position and like whether, Yeah.
So if we take this off manual and put it on like ping pong. Back then we didn't even have the little cursor. Yeah, everything was just like shaded. And it was okay. I think on some of the color themes it was a little bit more difficult. So
back in the day, that was brutal on a on just like a standard Game Boy chromatic screen with no backlight.
right. 6. So yeah, what is our? Okay, that seems good. Then I want to like, what if we put? Oh wait, override hand-drawn waves. Yes, yeah, I don't care about that one. Okay.
What part did that change?
It changed what I had on wave 60, but now I'm using what's on wave F6 instead of wave 60. So it didn't change anything. I made a new instrument. I wanted to put this on resync. Oh, we're gonna have to go farther than that, I guess. Wait, what? Am I crazy? Shouldn't that be... What's going on? Oh, I have it on retrig. Yeah, there we go.
Oof. It's like holding in a sneeze.
Like, this is just like... I could listen to this all night. It's kind of better this way. So then if you go to, like, rap...
Be cool if we had like a loop position command.
Woo!
Add a kick drum.
Yeah, do we, yeah, it's either, oh, what is it? It's not really F, but isn't it, is it, there, is it F? No, that's kit loop point. What is speed and length? We have W command, but we don't, yeah, I guess we don't have one where we can actually change the loop position. Which, yeah, it would be cool to do that. But we only have like
there is something we can do that, like, I mean I know the F command is the obvious.
The grilled cheese is trying to talk to us. All right, I've done enough talking, so it's your turn.
I like that though. Where'd that go? Oh, he's over here. That is.
That's just from the template, I think.
I just like that. I kind of want to just kind of see. Are we on deep? I'm gonna be lazy and not transpose, because I kind of like to get in there a little bit. Just kind of descending.
Nice.
Oh, whoops. That's not what I want to do.
Undo. Good old
Yeah.
LSDJ undo.
Does it bother you that 48's on the top now? Because it doesn't bother me at all.
No.
I feel like, you know, some people... I think it makes sense why 675. 7. Wait, what was it? 7? What? No, wait. Oh, 5.
No, in most situations it'll bother me, but what bothers me is having to redo everything so the numbering is fixed. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, I gave up. I don't know that I ever cared about what number anything was, although I do understand, because when I see somebody else's like save file and I'm like, oh, wow, the numbers are like in order. That's crazy. It looks nice, but I go like, that is a crazy amount of effort to manually arrange all of those numbers when I use the clean function so often, and I'm cloning stuff and then cleaning stuff, and it's like there's no way to keep all of that numbering intact. I don't want to like manually have to organize the memory usage, because it's like how am I going to remember what phrases I've used or not? Yeah, the 7F thing makes sense. I kind of actually gave up on. For a while, I was using 0, like phrase or chain 0, but now I just kind of end up using like I'll start writing on 0, and then it'll be like phrase 58 or something that I'm like, oh, I need a blank one now. My projects are a mess. Yeah, I can relate to that because I release my save files, but I don't really make them look nice for anybody.
Chord progression would be cool. Any ideas? Maybe something like sweepy, something.
Something sleepy?
Sweepy, sorry.
No, that was a joke.
Oh.
Oh. I know, right? I should write more. I kind of like whatever you had, whatever was there.
Go for it.
Oh yeah. I see. I think I see what you're.
Do we still have that like M command CC Ivory kick in the works? Just out of curiosity, I didn't even look at the kick we're using.
I'm sure we do, and I don't know if I named it anything. Wave sidechain kick. Aha! Yeah, there it is. 12.
Coolest little trick.
I gotta be honest. I don't think I will ever use this trick. It's just,
I like it.
It's just wild. Because I'd rather just put a real compressor on it. By real, I don't even mean real. I mean a plugin, or if there's a sound engineer who has that on the board or something. But actually, like I tend to want to like hear my songs with a lot of dynamic range, so I don't necessarily like, good thing you don't have to, your collaborator can. Exactly. So you probably know this trick already, but it's putting these M commands on the kick to do like a fake master ducking. Well, it's not fake, it's real. So like compare that with, what was the other kick we were using? Was it 8? Oh, there's
classic
6. So like
transpose to 80.
Oops. It kind of takes a little bit of the oomph out. We maybe could tweak the M commands a bit in my view, but it, it's still a cool trick.
I was just curious what we're working with.
Yeah.
What was the version of LSDJ that like completely changed the behavior of the pitch command?
5.1.
That makes sense because like I think a lot of LSDJ artists like used like the V4 for a while and everything in between, and I think when they finally got the courage to like boot up V5, like their kicks didn't work, and they're like, never mind, I'm not going to make chiptune anymore.
Well, and version 5 didn't have the drum mode in it yet, so it was really like it was dark times. It was it was really. Yeah. I have an EP that I released with version 5 that I keep thinking like I should really like remaster it and update it to the new stuff because it could sound slightly better. Never thought to put it on the kick. I usually make a table and put it in the noise channel. Oh, okay, yeah. That's one of those other tricks that I think we talked about was like putting like a noise pop in the, on the kick, like layering that with the kick. You could probably get some mileage out of that. But I've that's like a trick I have never used.
Which one is considered the counter melody?
This one, the lower one, I think, because we mostly hear. I'm actually gonna like bump this up a little bit.
That's kind of what I was wondering. I mean, I guess depending on how you look at it, either one could be considered the counter melody, or is there actual like musical engineering literature like discerning which one is supposed to be?
It's just mostly that our ears tend to kind of like if there are two sounds that are kind of at the same volume, I think our ears tend to pick out the higher note as the one that's the melody. It's not always the case because you can make a melody if somebody's singing a lower melody and the harmony is like above it, then you could put the harmony like lower in volume and make the main melody stand out more that way. In which case your ear would perceive that as the main melody. Since I mainly use 2 LSDJ, I need that extra pop. It feels like the kick drowns. Yeah, that makes sense. People get way into like kick design, and I deeply respect that, and I have no patience for it.
Said the guy who made every LSDJ kick I can think of.
I know, and I left 2 of them out.
Ooh, it's kind of like I like that little dissonant, like attitude. Is that? No, that's not the attitude.
Oh, why is this? Oh, I'm in the wrong channel. That's why. Put a melody in your head, well then you'll have to join the Telemelt stream at some point. So that way you can grab the controller and do whatever you're hearing. Because I don't think either of us really have an idea of what we're doing.
Yeah, we're just hanging out, pressing buttons, bleeping bloops. I'm not even, we don't have to have like a real purpose. Like, I think, this honestly felt like an extension of what I was learning from your previous video on the Wave channel, which is cool. Because I mentioned last time, I don't know if you remembered me saying that, like, I've never been, like, huge into sound design in the Wave channel.
Oh.
I feel like, as, like, an LCJ musician, or just, like, chiptune musician, like, or just, like, electronic musician, let's say, where you're responsible for, every, part of a track, like rhythm, bass, lead, drums, like, it's a lot to take in. And, for me, personally, I kind of have to pick my battles with sound design and what I can spend my attention on, and chord progression, melodies, and overall song structure always takes most of my brain power.
Yeah,
and
I think we all have spots that like we kind of gravitate towards, and things that we sort of like. I feel like I can skate by on some of my like noise channel stuff. I was like, you know what? It's gonna be hi-hats and snares. I don't care. Like, I don't need to do the most elaborate. Oh, an occasional crash and an occasional whatever, little sound effect. But some people I hear that kind of sound design stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, oh that's so cool,
Mm-hmm.
Still de-rusting from music and learning controls. Last recording I did was 2014, and then it was guitar, not electronic. I totally understand, and I understand that whole de-rusting from music bit as well. But hey, if/when you're ready, feel free to hit me up. Always struggled with drums when I used to write. Yeah, it's like I wish I was a drummer, because then I would have that language. Like I would have just a whole vocabulary of like fills or like different beats or like ways to kind of
my favorite
navigate
rapper,
the song with different energy levels and stuff.
My favorite hip hop artist, Harry Mack, is a freestyler, and he's a drummer, like first and foremost, and he learned how to rap and freestyle around like drum rhythms, and you can totally tell because he's able to go like so many places texturally, like intertwine like like the words that he says, and his poetry is like completely separate, obviously, but like his rhythms are so beautiful because he has that skill set, and I agree, it's a superpower. Yeah,
Harry Mack is ridiculous already.
Love that guy.
I mean, it's just like, yeah.
It makes me so happy to, like that your response wasn't like, oh, who's that guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it's Orange Drink. Welcome to the stream. We are just hanging out. It's me and Skip Sandwich bleeping and blooping over here. I met Orange Drink at Little Sound Assembly, which was I don't remember if we met in 2016. It might have been 2017, and that was like that. I always said Little Sound Assembly is like the reason that that any of you know who Defense Mechanism is, because that was like the thing that really got me doing this like regularly and committing to like actually making music on a Game Boy like as a full-time thing. Yeah, it was life-changing for sure. I miss the whole Blipfest era. I know we've probably talked about it. I know we've talked about it like in Discord, but
yeah, but you got to play in Japan, dude.
Like, yeah, I mean that was pretty awesome.
You were a part of a whole new era, like a whole separate era.
Thank you. It's been a lot
that's
of fun.
Actually how I discovered your music. Heck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was well, actually, I discovered you because I asked for a pulse kick on Facebook.
Oh.
And you responded, and I heard your name, but I'd never listened to music, and I was like, okay, this guy like responded within 5 minutes of me asking for a pulse kick. I'm gonna listen to his music, and you didn't. It was before Psychology, so. Yeah,
that sounds like before I started even making like videos almost, because I've made the wave kick videos, but yeah, people needed to know how to make kicks. That was like a real thing. Were you asking like about the new version or something?
It was after. It was like I just bought those carts that I think I mentioned last stream.
Oh, okay.
Those really awesome carts that I always forget the name, and you have to remind me every.
Is it Lincoln Load?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I realized that my whole bag of tricks from years previous weren't working anymore. I could just be jumping through tables like faster, and I'm not. Because there you go. 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna change all these. But yeah, so you like posted the kick, and then I was like, that's really rad. This guy's helpful. And then I forget what music that I heard, and then a few years later I saw one of your videos, and I was like, that's the same guy. But that was
Same
just,
guy
like,
with the
me-
same song.
that song's fire though.
Who uses
That's
programs efficiently? Yeah, exactly. There's people who's used LSDJ for years without ever using copy and paste. Or clone,
yeah.
I think. Or sometimes they'll copy and paste, but they don't know clone. But there's always something to learn. Like, there's always something to learn, no matter what. Like, even though I feel like I have a handle on what I'm doing in here. It's such a fun moment when you learn something new too. Like, when I learned that the vibrato could be could swap directions.
Oh, dude, that's like that was a great discovery.
Yeah. Did you upload your weekly beat? I did indeed.
I did.
And I wish that I could have uploaded a different one, but I have one that I've made for Battle of the Bits. It was Paul's first 1 hour battle this week, so that was cool, and I felt good about my entry. So I was like, okay, you know what? I've got something to submit to Weekly Beats. I have another idea that I started like yesterday, basically, or Friday, and I was like, I need to give this more time because I really think that this could be a really good one. Like, it's taken me until the end of March to come up with something where I'm like, oh my god, an idea that I could like actually develop, you know, like that I feel good about. Because I've still been kind of like, well, I released some stuff last year with Go to 80. We did a split release, so I did 5 songs and he did like 4. And I haven't really been writing because I'm just like busy with all kinds of other stuff too. So it's kind of nice to like get back into it, you know, do weekly beats again. When I was telling Skip Sandwich before the stream started that like in 2020, I started the year with no inspiration at all. And then as I started kind of forcing myself to work on songs, ideas just started coming like out of nowhere. So like while I'd be working on the song for 1 week, I'd get an idea and I'd be like, ooh, I'm gonna save that for next week, or you know, whatever. And then like that just kept happening every week. I'd get a new idea. So I feel like it's taken me a little bit longer to kind of get that going this time, but it's something I really was looking forward to because I just hadn't really ever had that experience before. But like if you just kind of like get yourself in the mode of writing, then I feel like it helps you tune in to like, you know, like new inspiration. Funny how that works, exactly. So, oh, we're in ARP land. ARP heaven. All right, we're done. No.
That's it. Made an ARP. Made a kick.
Yeah. It's like a 4-bar loop or 8-bar loop. You know.
See you next week.
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is literally what I do with coffee most, like 5 days a week. Is just like just mess around, goof around on LSDJ, some caffeine. It like wakes up my mind. Like I don't know, like make an espresso. Then make like some semblance of a beat. That's like
awesome.
Fun way to start the day. Any ideas on how to make this like give us a little bit more energy?
Yeah. Okay. I'm so spoiled now because I use the C commands so much that
I know. I do too. I went into the stream saying I'm not going to use a C command like I always do. I'm going to actually have more than, you know, than 3, like a triad.
But I think the key to some of this stuff is to just like add more stuff. Because if you're going for an ARP, I feel like it's reasonable enough to just use a C command because you've got a note in the bass and you've got a note in the melody, and then if you add 3 more notes to that don't include the bass note or the melody note, then you can get some get some richer chords and stuff going that way. And I usually I'll kind of change the voices around if it's like, you know, C3-7 or whatever, and then I'll do like C2-7 and then back to C3-7 or something. So it's not just like the same chord. It's like you're actually implying like what musical people would call like inner voice movement. So like things are moving around within the chord. So I feel like if you want to go dedicate a whole table to it, might as well like go all out and like, you know, go crazy with stuff. Sometimes actually, if I really want to hear what's going on, just so I can hear what. Yeah, see, that's not what This is great, but I need to sleep middle of the night. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.
See ya.
So now maybe we could hop back here. Or you could do something like this. Hop here a few times, and then like hop here a few times. Hop to, where is it, 5 or 4? 4. Is that right? Or no, is this gonna hop to 4 once? I can never remember how this works. First digit equals, no, that's right. We might have to hop to 5 here, right? Maybe not that many times.
Is this what happens when you don't stick to the C command?
Yeah, that I
start getting into tick math and just...
I start going nuts, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is constraints, you know, like... C command is like avoiding tables, right? You have the idea of LSDJ, which is making music with constraints, and then you have the idea of the C command, which is constraining yourself even further.
Right.
Like in regards to arpeggios and arpeggios, or however you like to pronounce it. I don't know if there's actually a way you're supposed to pronounce that.
We need to like, I need a K command in here or something.
Because of the clicky?
Yeah, it should stop panning, you know. I think I can live with that. I'm gonna increase these. I only wish that I could like change this up, so maybe I won't change. Maybe I won't pan it here, and we could take these guys out, and then I'll pan here. This is usually how I work too, like, because I like it when the arps have some movement. I don't like using C command alone, sounds boring. Downside is now you have to make more tables and do more math for more chords. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I try to, I mean, the nice thing about it now is that we have some control over the speed, which that I felt like was just, you know, almost unusable at higher tempos. It just like the C command was out the window. Like you couldn't use it at all because it sounded so bad that it's like I have to make a table and set it at groove 2 or 3 or something to make it sound like actually good.
When it comes to like classic Game Boy chiptune, the C command is like the quintessential like sound because it was just like so easily like programmable, accessible.
Right.
I can think of like so many tunes that use it, but you know when you texture it with like with tables. They don't exactly sound like just C commands anymore. You know, like you're.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things to me that like I'll use it in the service of finishing a song or something like that, but it's like when somebody goes and does like a really cool custom ARP that's like very good sound design, you know, and like it really does elevate the track, like, and yeah, I mean, you only have so many tables, so there's, you know, you can find clever ways to use them and stuff, but it's like I don't want to waste all my tables on chords. If I really want to imply harmony, like I'll just make it work with the C command. And there's other things you can do too, like sometimes I'll do, you could do something like this, right? Which actually that kind of works well. So like
you're just transposing an octave up for the overall table.
So it's like, because this is 0 for 2 ticks, this is up an octave for 2 ticks, this is whatever, the C command is going for each line of this chord, you're getting this note and then an octave higher, this note, then an octave higher, this note, then an octave higher, this note, then an octave higher, and it's
holy crap! I didn't know that at all. That's cool.
So it's like a richer texture. But yeah,
there's like a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, extended C command is a great thing to put on the wish list. Some of these stuff you want to know, like how it could even be possible to go above and beyond, like, but it would be really cool. I wish that there was like, you know, a way to make it like more, I don't know, more different.
How does it sound melodically with the rest of the
Yeah, where even are we? Wait. What?
What's that?
Oh, it's this guy. I was like, who has 8 bars? Like, do you normally keep your like chains like different amounts of?
No, I just didn't get there yet.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, let's take this, assuming that we want to keep it how it is, at least just so that everybody's consistent. This is one thing that would drive me insane. Like, people talk about numbers. I don't care what numbers are, but dude,
it's effectively the same thing because it's like just cycling between one and the other. Right?
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, I've seen people who they do write their songs like this, and I get it because like live mode and stuff, but like having like this guy and then like, you know, let's say like these guys here, like when you have blocks of a song that look like this, and I'm going, it just makes me freak out because I need everything to look like exactly like that. Like it's got to have exactly the same numbers of stuff.
I mean, it makes the concept of like live LSDJ collaboration so funny.
Oh yeah,
it's like everybody has the thing that they like to do, and like their not even pet peeve, like just, you know, preferences. I think a way more polite and diplomatic way to describe.
Yeah, nothing really. I don't know. I probably could work under any circumstances with somebody. You know, assuming that I really wanted to, like, I don't really have any, you know, things where I'm like, I tell everybody, like, if whatever I write, like, you have the freedom to change any of it, like, so usually like I feel like I can work well with somebody who allows me with the same freedom to like go in and like tweak something or like change a melody part or change some of the instrumentation. I feel like I've gone too far in that direction, so I try to rein it in as much as possible, you know, but like it's, even I think I could work in an older version. Like, I wouldn't love it, especially if it's like, I don't know, version 7 or like version 4, I get it. But anybody who's beyond version like 6.8 who hasn't really upgraded to the new, it's really like the new noise channel that's kind of the big difference from version 6 and 7
just,
and 8.
The visual representation of the envelope, combined with the noise channel. The samples, you know, how they come in so clear and loud. I mean, it's just great. LCJ now is just like the fact that, you know, it's such a like the whole thing is like just a love letter to the community. How he just keeps working on it and updating it and asking feedback back from the community.
Yeah, it's really been awesome to see. The LSDJ beta stream when? Anytime. I mean, actually, we're using the latest dev build, which is 940. This one hasn't been marked as stable or anything, but I think maybe 933 or something was marked as a stable version, because I usually, if it's like been like 3 months or something and nobody's reported any bugs, then he'll mark it as stable. But I think there were a couple of bugs in some previous versions that got fixed in this one. So yeah, there's I don't know, I would love to see some LSDJ 0.1 beta. Oh now that would be an event. Maybe like if I get, if I get some, I'm I'm already at 1,000 subscribers, maybe at 2,000 subscribers or something crazy. I'll do a 0.1 beta stream. Or
it's like the first footage of Minecraft. Yeah. Like when the very first form, there's like three textures.
Oh man, there's if it's like maybe the 25th anniversary or something like that, like, because I think LSDJ has already hit its 20th, right? Yeah, that was like in 2021 or something, or something like that.
I think I was in middle school when it came out.
Wow. Yeah.
Didn't hear about it until like senior year in high school.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it until I was out of college. So what I feel like we do is I need this guy to sustain, maybe.
I need to do some piano math and see which notes that arpeggio is.
Like, am I crazy? This is like, I wish it would like sustain. Because what am I doing? I can just put it in an E command. That's what I really want.
I was like, yeah, you can do an E command.
Almost. I kind of want to do the same sort of. Also, this guy. Should we put a table on? Yeah, why not? Why not? Who cares? I want to put like a. Let's maybe slow this down a bit. Put like a V command on here at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. Oh, that's fine.
The manual K command.
I feel like it needs to like be a little bit louder. See, we're bumping up against this thing again where the wave bass is so loud.
Can we bring the limit down a little
bit? This is the best thing. See, so when you're like, when you're writing your own thing, right? You're messing around in here. Imagine you drew all these by hand. Then now what are you gonna do? You're like, oh, I need a quieter bass. Use an E command? Now you're listening to this.
Putting yourself in a freaking box.
Yeah, like now you're listening to this. I'm like, no, that's horrible. Yeah, limit. I don't know how far down to bring this, but yeah, we could even bring.
Yeah, just start it, and it can end a little loud as long as it doesn't start as loud, I think.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, so we should lower the limit here, and now we've got like 2 sidechain kind of things going. I used this a lot. This was the thing I feel like I used a lot in like psychology, and also I think
I feel like it's the obvious thing to use. Like, at least once you realize that you can manipulate volume so easily that way, as opposed to the old wave channel, which was just either way too low or way too loud. You know exactly how you express with E0 2, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. Okay, so I think we could go a little louder. It's too bad we don't have the option to like, we've just got one, way to change this. Although we can also mess with the volume of the input.
Yeah, what's the exact difference between limit and volume in this context?
Limit uses, oh, wait a minute. Is this right? Am I thinking about this right? Yeah, it's, limit will always basically clip the output of the volume. So basically, this affects the output, volume affects the input. It affects the input level of your signal. How loud does your signal get? Then volume, because it's the input, it's affected by this distortion. So if you increase the input volume, like if I increase this, like so, it's gonna add this wrapping, right? Mm-hmm. And if I go to clip, it's gonna clip like this.
Right.
So
at a certain like high frequency.
How am I trying to talk about this? Like, so like limit will basically set the ceiling for where that happens at. So this is setting for the ceiling for clip, but it also sets the ceiling for where it's gonna wrap. So normally, if your limit is all the way up, you have full dynamic range, and it's not going to wrap until it reaches either volume F or volume 0. Whereas, like, if you take down this limit, it's going to reduce the dynamic range to, instead of using volume 0 through F, it's going to use, well, not 0 through B, but whatever that range is, 2 through C. So it basically sets the whole range of this field. Is this making any sense at all?
I'm digesting it all as you go. So
basically, yeah. When you raise volume or lower volume, it's gonna be affected by distortion. Whereas like limit always is just straight up, how loud is the final signal gonna be?
Right.
And it then, seems like, oh, go ahead.
I was saying to your ear, between like like introducing a signal versus like ending the signal, like how much can your ear really tell the difference, like in practice?
It just depends, but I think a significant amount, because it's affected by that. Like, let's use another synth for reference, just so I don't completely overwrite my bass sound. But like,
I like that.
So, like, with normal setting here, like, this sawtooth, like, oh god, not this sawtooth, because this is from an old template, and yeah, okay. So, like, as I reduce this volume of the input, like, it's just the sawtooth itself is actually going to scale. Oh, you asked how does it hear? How does it sound? So let's see. Like, well, this is cool because we're gonna end up like, creating a bunch of cool instruments. So let's just keep it manual. We're at 70, and then I'm gonna do my R thing here. So like, yeah. Now as you get this volume higher and higher, it kind of just turns more and more into a square wave.
Yeah, I was about to say it gets wider and wider.
because if you think about what's happening, the sawtooth is going up and it's clipping against this, like where the actual sawtooth would go is like out of bounds of this range.
Right.
So, and then obviously like if you change how that works, all it's doing is it's taking the higher values that would be above this range and clipping them at F, and the lower values that would be below this range and clipping them at 0. If you change this to fold, it kind of mirrors them across either the top or the bottom of the range. So you get extra harmonics this way, and then you can see like as we go up, like what happens. And then like again, like as you go down, it's gonna turn more and more into a sine wave. Okay, so that's that, right? And then wrap is it's gonna wrap them around from the top to the bottom. And it's gonna add this like noise, and it's gonna add harmonics this way. And always when you're rapping, it always uses this whole range from 0 to F. So like, what's cool about limit is that it's not gonna rap just at values below 0 or values above F. So if you make it a lower value, like let's say 7, this is only gonna let you have half as many values. So your dynamic range is reduced by 50, but like it wrapped so much because there's not as much range. So if we go back down again, now it's wrapping sooner. It's wrapping at a lower volume. So like, to me, that, you know, obviously is gonna sound different than this if I leave the limit all the way up. And then you get to here. Like, that, you know, sounds way different to this.
Imagine not having limit.
Yeah. So, and then, not only that though, like this is actually where it gets crazy. So, okay, so let's put it back at F. And then we'll like raise the volume again, or put this back on clip actually. Then we go up. Here's something that most people don't know, and I've never like taken the time to explain it, right? So you're going all the way up and like, basically, okay, volume FF, we're at a square wave here. But let's go back down, but you can see how we're getting there. So if you start going above 0F, how could this be? Because limit, there are not, you know, 10 in hex ranges of volume. There's only F. But if you start going up, it starts adding in imaginary harmonics, basically, which is kind of crazy. So like,
yeah, I was wondering how it went up to 10 and over.
See, we're on clip, right? But then when I start going above, look, it's rapping, and it's like adding these weird, like, jagged little extra things in here.
You're like a rap rebel.
So like, as you start going up, it starts like. So according to Johan, this was like a bug in the old version 4 that you could get by default if you started going way too high in volume. It was actually adding the waves together like that. Like this, even though it says clip. Like,
that's cool.
It's clip, it should be clipping, right? But no, it's not, it's rapping. So I want to hear what this sounds like in its, what did oh yeah, I had this R. Like, how dope is that?
It's like ripping a Band-Aid off in a good way.
It's also just like a regular rap, but basically what it allows you to do is still rap when your distortion is set to clip. So it's like a way to get rapping while you're still clipping.
We got here just by wanting to reduce the volume a little bit, people.
Yeah, so that was that. But yeah, so then what else was that? I was just gonna put this back on rap and then raise the volume, shit. And you can still do the same thing, right? Like,
he's a rap god.
But like, something about it sounded like way gnarlier, right? Like, than that.
It did.
So
because it was like the way it shifted through, like those frequencies was just like kind of. I don't know. I mean, you can just describe it as cool in a million ways. Like, it's always could be cool, but it was just had a little flavor to it that you're not getting it when you put it in rap.
Overtones. Yeah, we talked about overtones, but I was mostly talking about overtones in relation to the way that the filter works with cutoff and Q, because each cutoff, each of the first digit of this references that overtone. So this is 1 octave, 2 octaves, you know, or whatever, octave and a fifth, etc., 2 octaves. Yeah, this is whatever. Obviously, you know what you're talking about. So, yeah. But this also, there's multiple ways to add those overtones. Doing this rap thing is one. Changing phase is another. If you change to resync and then you start doing this, like, it's kind of the same thing. Actually, it would be better to do it like that, and then you're kind of getting like 2 for 1. But see what I mean? Like, it doesn't sound that much different. It just sounds like a noisy. It just sounds like a noisy waveform.
What does it sound like when you put it on all pass?
So all pass is gonna sound the same. These are actually phase shifted. I guess you can't really tell in that particular waveform, but like the sawtooth looks like this instead of like this. And then it really is only affected by the cue. So you have to set a different cutoff, and then this cue just boosts that overtone in your current sound. So you could like really boost, like the first octave or whatever. You're not gonna hear it a whole lot because of this limit setting that I have. So this is just like, it's really boosting that whole. I use this all the time, although really more like in low pass. So it's adding. It's like just that overtone. Oh, this reminds me that I was gonna talk about those FM sounds too. So you can actually get like a bell tone by setting the cutoffs at a higher. I want to say it's like 40, and then you start with a high Q and then you move to a low Q. So this might work. Yeah, it needs to be a little faster. Maybe like a little. Yeah, you kind of get it a little.
Wow.
So you can kind of get like an FM. I think I would lower the. Speaking of limit, like lower the volume. It really
That's
needs
not
to
something
be.
I'm used to hearing.
And it can be really cool when you're like, no, I could like use the, like doing this kind of thing. Yeah, I think so too. Like, lower it a little bit further. Yeah, because it's still pretty high in volume. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. It's still kind of in the same key. That's nice.
It is, I think. Kind of, no? Oh, yeah, it is. What is that? I mean, you can bring it over to. Wow. Not interesting. Not interesting at all. Nothing. I kind of think this would be cool at the end, like a little finisher. What's that table? Just in case, because I don't want to make the same mistake twice, I'm going to clone, because last time I destroyed Paul's work 10 minutes into the stream.
Yeah, but he deserved it.
It's not nice.
No, it's not. I'm not being nice to Paul. He got first in the Game Boy thing and came like second in Winter Chips, so I think he can take a little.
He's your friend, man.
It was well deserved. It was a great, yeah. If you don't know that song or haven't heard it yet, check it out. It's on the Winter Chip, the most recent Winter Chip. I think it's Winter Chip 19 on Battle of the Bits. I forget what the name of the song was. Sorry, Paul. But it was like Chamber of 1,000 Dazzling Crystals or something. I don't. Something like that. I don't know. Sorry, I butchered it.
C commands are back. Aren't you excited?
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. No, up an octave for sure. Yeah.
Kind of had this idea to like just kind of turn all this into a triad melody, but just mimicking the taking the root note, and then I mean I guess it'll be the top note because all right, so if this was like up 7, it would be what it originally was, which was okay. Yeah, so I'm right.
Yeah, it's always like that's another like chord math.
Yeah, like I should probably make a chart to help me count, like. Because otherwise, just
that's actually kind of
a little slow. That's
the thing, right? Oh, hey, put this on the wish list. C command inversions, like some way to
just a chromatic,
like that you would take. So like that you could take the lowest note and move it up to where the highest note is, up an octave, and have the note and the command like automatically may have an inversion. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Wait, what was I at? Forget now. Okay, it was just F.
Because like sometimes it would be nice to rotate your chord up, but like say if you wanted that G sharp 4 to be where the 7 is, you want to move that up an octave, but have the other 2 notes stay the same. But yeah, basically C command inversions. That's not quite, it's just a workflow improvement that I was thinking of, not really like a new feature, just to make it easier to arpeggiate through a major chord like differently. Also, like, it would be cool to have a command rate command.
Yeah, right, just give me more from the command rate.
Or command rate is controlled by groove or something like that. One thing that I did want was like a feature where I thought it would be cool to have like grooves that the wave command frames would advance according to the groove. So like if you had a swung groove like 7/5 or something, then this you wouldn't just have it set on speed 6. Like right, it would change along with the actual song. Oh yeah, like command rate is you could set it in the instrument, but I'm saying it would be cool to have one in the like a command to change the command rate. Or even like change table speed. Some of this stuff you can do in M8, like you can set the table speed on the instrument screen. So, or you can put the command, like the speed command at the bottom of the table, and it will read that first, and then you can go from the top of the, so you don't have to waste your first command rows with, speed settings. It's like small ways that we're spoiled on the M8, except for that it's so much more complicated to use that I haven't really figured out how to use it. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, you're way better at writing music than I am. That's what I've realized.
You're not talking to me.
Yes, I am. This is sounding good. I didn't write anything that sounded nearly this good. I'm just over here making weird, like, wah, like.
I mean, you're teaching people how to like synthesize, and I'm just kind of like, going through the motions of just like jotting down a little groove.
Yeah, we need to get a better like equilibrium of this on the stream.
When you said that, I would rather. I was like, who's talking to?
I would rather hear this.
give me the little. Kind of want to bring it to like less of a minor dissonant sound. Okay, it's this. I did copy it. Okay, I did clone it. I just want to make sure I'm cloning.
Just making weird noises. If it sounds musical, it's a bonus. Well, that's kind of what I was like, oh, we could use this opportunity to make some instruments. And hopefully it's not all for just me rambling. That's why I feel like it's nice to have, like, if you're gonna watch a 40-minute video about kicks or whatever, that at least you can come away with it with, like, the work already done, you know? So, like, here's all of the kicks in one file in case you wanted to just, like, have the thing. Also, I feel like it's tough. Like, sometimes if you only watch a tutorial once, like, you may not even, like, learn everything from it. Because there's still some things I have to go back and rewatch, like, okay, wait, how did they do that? I've done this before, and I still don't remember how to do it. And, like, or, like, I'll skip a step and then be like, wait, why isn't this working? And I gotta go back and rewatch it again and find out, like, why it didn't work so that I can understand it better.
I'm just kind of... I have no idea what this is going to sound like. I'm just completely improvising.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Maybe slightly... Like a dun 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 dun.
I was thinking of something like this, actually. I mean, I think that's still cool, and I'm gonna keep it. But what if you wait, was that here? Oh man, okay. Yeah, no, it sounded great. I don't know what I was thinking.
One. Alright, this needs to not be... That's what I love about cloning, is just that you can just completely gut, like, your previous idea, and then just kind of go back to it, and then like, reflect on what you changed.
Right.
What sounds good. Everyone's, like, writing process is different. I'm curious if anyone does what I do, which is... I don't even know how to describe it, because I've never really tried or had to. Okay, I want this one to resolve. So wait, let me do that one more time. Okay. Oh, just in case.
What if we could store instruments, like you could choose to hard save the instrument and use it in other files? There was like an old project that tried to do that. And there's been a few ways, like, I know there's been like the LSDJ patchbook and stuff. The thing is, like, because an instrument so often has like tables that go along with it, it's a little bit difficult, but I think it's a feature request in the patcher. I don't think he's ever thought seriously about including it, as far as I know, but there was something, I forget what, I think it was called LSMC. There was a guy who was writing a library in Python for a while, like back in 2015, and you could like save instruments, I feel like, or at least you could view them. You could like open it up and it would show you all the instrument parameters. I don't know if he ever implemented saving though. But at this point, also, like, you know, you can copy and paste across BGB, like, if it's linked together. So you could copy and paste instruments that way if you had, like, a bunch of songs on another save file. That's kind of the easiest way. I feel like that's kind of what he sort of, you know, compromised by making that a feature. which is still pretty useful. I've used it when I wanted to like merge 2 songs together, because that's also been another feature request forever. Like, just take this song and put it into this song, you know, like just copy all of the chains, phrases, everything over. So he was like, well, why don't I just give you copy and paste? But then you have to copy and paste 1 screen at a time. So like, if you're copying something in a phrase, like the instrument doesn't copy over just the note. Then you gotta go make a new instrument and copy that instrument over. Then if that instrument has a table, you gotta copy that table and then copy that over. If that has a synth, you have to copy and paste the synth over. So it is a lot of work, but it's better than like completely recreating it manually by a long shot. It really doesn't take that long.
Doing this. Yeah, we'll just let's get rid of the C command just for the sake of trying to feel this melody.
That was an L command.
What?
That was an L command. On C.
Oh, thank you. Need that. It's like, why did I copy it?
Yeah, it was still on your clipboard.
What was that? 6, yeah.
You've seen my tables, it takes a long time. Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to enter like kind of like a happier realm of sound into column 12.
The bass progression is so melancholy.
It's that classic like descending bass line.
Yeah.
Super classic.
That's it.
Now that you mention that, I'm curious what it sounds like with a
the super harsh bass. You could put some M command, or not M commands. Well, you could put some M commands in, but you could put some W commands in to like make some notes have, actually, like some notes have different speeds. I hadn't thought of this before. I wonder if it would work. To sort of automate. So like, what is this now? 3 and A. So you could put like 3. A or whatever, and then, or maybe even make it like a little shorter and then do it like a Z command and do like different kind of variations of like make the bass sound more dynamic. It's not that huge of a change, but I think it's primarily because the length is already so long. Is it speed, length, right?
It's taking precedence a little bit.
Okay, well, I don't like that idea.
I mean, maybe try an F command like on the offbeat.
Do you mean W? What am I? Oh, I really mostly want to change the length.
I mean, it kind of sounds like an F command in manual. Do you typically work on your bass line without listening to like the rest of like the track?
I can.
That's a superpower.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of good.
Ooh, something's out of tune there. What was that?
Yeah. There is something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you hadn't gotten around to changing these, to doing these phrases yet. Or this one, maybe.
It was just like a real simple chord progression that I think we kind of turned on its head a little bit.
Okay.
But I think, you know, it's in the past, man. Like, it's in the past.
Wait, okay.
It's on it. There's a table.
I know, but I was just trying to figure out what was going on in the bass. Now, see, my temptation is to do this. Oh yeah, well I think we gotta clone that. We definitely like need some more stuff going on. I'm gonna.
Well, R.
Oh, R is good.
Yeah. R3, R5, R6.
Yeah, maybe we can put one here.
Maybe a crash.
I like this one. Oh yeah, for sure. Or not that. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
I don't know how you normally.
I swear to God, every time I make a crash, it's programmed completely differently. It just depends on.
I used to do mine kind of like. Now, I mean, now you can just straight up like.
Yeah, you can just use the. That's the great thing about the new noise channel.
Or whatever.
I mean, that was like you'd go into the instrument and then you change the shape.
Or you can like combine them.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe. Ooh, that's. Yeah, those, you can just take those guys out. Nice.
Okay, now you go back to writing the chords because your stuff is already sounding better.
I don't know how to follow that. I mean, it sounds awesome.
Just
like,
go. Oh yeah, I mean,
it sounds more like a resolution to like a measure than back to a progression. But I wouldn't be sure. I guess my next idea would have been to go here, but I think that I don't think these really work anymore. If I was to have an opinion on that.
Yeah, well, so I mean, you can either like
want to keep them.
Well, we should figure out something to put there. That's all my.
Sure.
That's my only point.
Yeah, let's find out how it sounds without them first.
Yeah, we picked up Steve. Steve is here. Joined late. Did you guys have a theme going into this, or just jamming? Real good MechWarrior music. Yeah, we just basically loaded up from where everybody kind of left off from the end of the last stream, and I think we kind of picked up. Sort of what CC Ivory was doing, but then ended up kind of adding in some other instruments and wrote a couple of new themes.
I kind of like the idea of...
He just does this. That's all I know. He's like, yeah, I just do this every morning. I'm like, okay, well, keep doing it.
What? I mean, like you do too, right? Like. You definitely you're on this a lot.
If I honestly haven't been into it as much lately, but anytime I am working with music, I'll do this same kind of thing, like
I'm gonna do a slim clone on this.
make an idea, mess with it, make another idea, mess with that.
I just want to hear what this sounds like. These are both slim cloned, just to change this last part. Just so you know.
Wait. I gotta ask, why not just remove that note? Oh, is it because you want to kill that sound from the... my idea of like putting the kick there, but then having the kill command next to it. Like, shouldn't you take the kick out so it's clear like what's going on?
It was just more for like experimentation reasons, just to kind of hear what it, without having to repunch it if I didn't like it, or but that doesn't really make sense anyway. It's redundant because I slim cloned it, so I can just
my only thought is
go
that
back
like
to 0F.
the way that the processor probably processes that is to actually start playing a kick first and then kill it on tick 0. So like that's why in my brain I'm going like, no, you can't have that. Like, it would be better to not even start a kick, because you don't know if maybe the Game Boy CPU is feeling especially slow that frame, and like you get like just the slightest hint of a kick.
I think it's interesting hearing like your like interpretation of like what happens, because that's not at all where my brain was like about like CPU usage, or like it was just like, well, let's see how it sounds and then go from there. It's like you're trying to like stop a problem from happening.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. But having said that,
I think if I was trying to read that, like my brain would see the kick there, and it'd be like, why is there no kick? And then it's like, because there's a K00 command, and I'm like, wait a minute, so just delete the... No, you still want the K there to kill the bass note.
Right. I was just, yeah, no, you're totally right. That's completely
but like
valid.
I don't like, this isn't a criticism of your processor or anything. I don't.
No,
I'm just being weird.
I like it. No, it's like perspective, and like how you approach problem solving, and programming LSDJ it's like a bag of tricks, and it's problem solving, and it's music. It's all like these different aspects.
Yeah, totally.
Of things in one thing, and worth mentioning, usually done like by yourself, like like this is a new era of collaborating with this kind of software.
I feel like we're like speedrunners or something. Like, it's like you're trying to like explore this territory that no one's covered before, because unless you had a friend and you both had like a Super Game Boy or something, maybe you had to do it in person pretty much. Super Game Boy would have been really the way to go. And then Game Boy Player. I don't know what year Game Boy Player came out. I kind of like it. Yeah. Hello, Great Cat. Welcome.
Great Cat's here. Oh, I didn't even realize Steve was in here. Sup, Steve? Hi. Let's bring that up a little bit. Kinda just wanna...
That's the awesome thing about chiptune, and like it's just funny because like the pure tones are so well suited to things like major triads and like pentatonic scales, like stuff that's like kind of like simple but effective. Like it's just like this very pure expression of it. I've tried to do like more elaborate harmony, and like I just can't like make it really work. the same way that I can if it's just like one key and like the really prominent functional chords in that key, like 1, 4, 5, minor 3, minor 6, minor 2. But I've always like wanted to try to get more complex harmony. We have samples in the wave channel. That might have to be the way to go.
Oh, we have an idea for this part.
But not really, because it's like, this is so good. So why would you want to mess with it?
By the way, I'm going to turn Slim Clone off because I don't want to forget.
Yeah. Maybe it would be worth doing a save as well. I think this is just called Telemelt. Yeah.
I can do that from my side.
Cool.
And then I think this last part I had an idea to. All right. And then I was gonna do like a little. Actually, no, I didn't have to do that. Oh well, it's already done. Sometimes I'll like use up space and then realize I didn't have to do that, and then I regret it later. Then I have to do a little clear. Just like do a little. How's that sound when it's done? It's crazy how like it transitions back into this section. Like this, you know, like you were definitely right about the melancholy sound. But this is even more so.
Yeah.
It reminds me of music that I used to listen to as like an angsty teenager.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's got
like
that vibe.
I can't even remember the artist, but it's reminding me of something I listened to when I was like 13 and I thought I knew so much.
Yeah, right. I'm going to make a new snare. This snare is like, it's really kind of thin. I just want it to be more
VGM.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Something like this maybe. Is that how is that?
Do we have room in the no, we don't have room in the wave channel.
Oh, good question.
I think we'd be turning the whole like drum and bass on its head if.
Well, that's kind of why I really wanted to just change this one. And it might even need to be louder, and also this maybe.
I mean, I have no problem with creating more space between like the drums and the bass instruments. So.
I almost want it to be here. Yeah, maybe that's better.
I feel like it sounds better whichever one you're listening to at the moment. I think they both sound good.
Yeah, I know. So much of it is like that. And then I'll come back tomorrow and be like, no, this is horrible.
Mm-hmm. Then you change it, and then the next day.
Yeah. So, but actually, I think I'm happy with this.
Chiptune Groundhog Day.
Oh, is that one just empty?
It was empty. It just kind of was doing like a little transition to the next measure.
Okay. Okay, now I can hear it, so. I don't know if I love it or hate it, or if I think it's okay. Oh yeah, you know, because part of it is that I'm fighting the kick. So like, the freaking M command is eating the snare.
I thought there was something going on to where it was sounding like filtered out, like there was like frequencies like
That's what I was saying, like. I don't know if that's better or not, but.
It's even quieter.
Okay, I'm a little happier with that, I think.
I mean, it definitely is.
Now it really
punchier.
does sound punchy. Yeah, actually,
yeah, it sounds much punchier.
That's kind of great. That might be it for me, though. I think. What do you think?
We did it.
Yeah.
we created 11 and 12, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, this is really good. It would be cool to keep going with it as well, or yeah, because this thing up here, I don't really. I can't understand it for the life of me.
It was like. I think when Paul made that, it was like 1 in the morning for him.
Yeah, and then like .exe was here and added in some of that stuff, and then yeah, so that was wild. But also, I think it was kind of the first stream, so just getting things. What would be really crazy is to assemble a tune out of all of this. But yeah, I think at least this is like. Yeah, I don't know. This feels like bread and butter to me, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a fun little jam, you know.
So
I would make this with my coffee for sure.
Yeah, and I think it would be fun to build upon as well. And this is like up my alley for stuff that I would normally write too, because, you know, I feel like I want people to have a good time if I'm like going to play a show. Like they should be able to dance. So.
I mean, that's definitely the goal.
Yeah, so
it's a seems like a classic Game Boy chiptune.
Yeah.
Track.
Yeah, not to put it in a box by any means, because LSDJ like has so many possibilities, but there is like there has been a lot of music that is this like 4 on the floor type of stuff. But I think we're kind of like we're approaching we have these new refinements with like limit and like, you know, finer like synth controls, envelopes, you know, like the noise shape, like all of it adds like this extra dimension so that you can still really like craft your sound in a like a kind of intricate way. And
I mean, yeah, the instrumentation is like there's limitless.
Yeah.
What was it? Flipendo's 90s like dance covers.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one track he did.
Yeah.
That was a great like representation of like how simple and effective and new like Game Boy like programming can sound.
Yeah.
With something that's already so familiar.
Oh, I know, and I haven't even dipped my toe into like the 3x overclock stuff because it's just like that.
For a while, I thought that was a meme and not true.
Oh yeah,
I was like, is this 3x LSDJ a meme? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, it's because the like the tables and all the commands and everything are moving so fast that it's like it's really giving you a fine level of control on some of that stuff. And also just like the ability to generate completely new sounds. So that's pretty exciting.
We might have to do this earlier so we can get the
the European crowd.
Yeah, we need to get Flipendo would be a real fun.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try to schedule one that's like more European friendly. Maybe we can try the next one at an earlier time and see, because yeah, it would be nice to have some other people on. And I know that Paul and I had a great time with Paul doing this before, and like things tend to get really crazy. So yeah, maybe for the next one we'll try an earlier time.
Yeah, if we do 2 weeks, it'll line up perfectly, like after Easter. So
yeah, that sounds good. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Thanks. See ya.